Crystal Sews and Stuff here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. And today, in light of the sewing challenge that I'm doing in collaboration with Tamika Grover, who is here on YouTube, and she's also known as Crumpets Tea and Sewing on Instagram. The name of the challenge again is Sew Maxi for Mother's Day. So in light of this challenge, I'm going to show you how to change a tank top pattern into a maxi dress. So for this challenge, I'm going to change the Lago tank top, and this is the tank top right here, and I'm also wearing it right here, and it's a very loose fitting tank top, and it goes all the way down to your hips. So it's the perfect pattern to go ahead and extend out into a dress, because the waist and hips are already accounted for. So all you have to do is extend the bottom out in order to make it maxi length. So for this tutorial, what you need is the pattern, and you need to go ahead and put it together. There are only 21 pages in this PDF pattern. And the pattern is a free pattern on itchtostitch.com. So the pattern has 4 pieces. It has a front, a back, you have armhole band, you have to cut 2 of these, and then you also have a neck band. So those are the pattern pieces. And so in order to make this maxi length, we're going to even out the hemline. So the back hem of the pattern is already straight. So, but the front of the pattern is curved. Okay. So what we're going to do, and I've already moved the pattern up a little bit to account for my waistline. There's a length and a shorten line right here, and so I've moved it up an inch to accommodate for my waistline. So the next thing we're going to do is straighten out the bottom hem of the front so that it will match the bottom hem of the back, so you have a straight hem. So I'm going to zoom in and show you how to do that. Okay, so first we're going to even out the bottom, the hem, the front pattern piece. So in order to gauge how much we have to even out, I'm going to put the back pattern piece here on a line on my cutting mat, and then I'm going to put the front piece on the same line here on my cutting mat, and then I'm going to put a piece of pattern paper underneath, and I'm going to tape that down. So now we have the pattern piece taped down. So next we're going to line up the back pattern piece on the line and the front pattern piece on the same line, and then that's how we're going to figure out how much we need to cut off. So here is, I'm taking a pen right here and my ruler, and I'm just going to go from the bottom hem straight across. So the bottom of the hem is right here, and it's on the same line as the bottom piece. So we're going to go straight across right here on this line. Okay, and it's meeting up here. So now we have this line right here. And see how I blended the line. Blend the outside line into the bottom hem line. And then we're gonna just cut that off. And then we're gonna extend that out here as well. And then cut that off. Now our front hem is even with the back hem. So now all we have to do is add in the length to make it maxi. Okay, so now we're gonna just add the 35 inches to the bottom hem. This of course depends on your height. I'm 5'1.5", so you probably will have to add more. So this is the length I'm going with to make it maxi length. So what I'm gonna do is I'm lining up the pattern piece here. What I'm doing is I'm lining up the pattern piece here on a line. I'm going to do it at this, all the way up here at the 0 line. And I'm lining up the bottom hem on the line right here. And then I'm going to extend it all, I'm going to tape it down and extend it all the way out to 35 inches. And then I'm going to cut it off. So let me show you that. Taping it down on the line. Make a line straight over here on the 35-inch mark. And then from there, you're gonna line up from the bottom corner and then go and meet the other line at the bottom. We have our front pattern piece done, and we're just gonna do the same thing on the other side, except we don't have to even out the hem on the back because it's already straight. So now I'm cutting out my pattern pieces. Now I'm cutting out the neck and armbands. Now we're back in the sewing corner, and first we're going to stabilize the shoulder seams, and I like to use this Sew Keys knit stay tape / interfacing. And this is the ivory one. This is the 1 1/4 yard one. You can use a thinner one as well. But basically we're going to just stabilize the back shoulder seam with the knit stay tape. So you're going to make sure you have the back piece. So you're going to make sure you have the back piece, which is piece number 2. And unpin all your seams. I like to keep my pattern piece to the fabric until I'm ready to sew it, so I don't get the pieces mixed up. So first we're gonna hold up. So now I'm going to stabilize the shoulder seams only on the back pieces within the seam allowance. The seam allowance is 3/8, so right about right here. So the stitching should hit it right there. So make sure it is on the bumpy side of the interfacing is facing the fabric, the back side, and I'm gonna use my pressing cloth and just steam it. Okay, so that's it for that step. Now we're going to sew the front to the back at 3/8 inch at the shoulder seams. Okay, so now we're going to sew the shoulder seams together at 3/8 inch seam allowance. And I have it on zigzag stitch, 1.5 length and 3.6 millimeter width for zigzag stitch. So we're going to lower the presser foot. Okay, so those look good. Bam. One good looking seam right there. Next, we're going to serge them. So we're going to move over to the serging corner. We're over here at the serging corner. Got all this extra stuff over here. Over on this side. I have like a little L-shaped setup going on over here. So here is my serger, and I'm going to serge this little part off. This is optional. If you don't have a serger, you don't have to do this because you don't have to finish off knit seams because they don't ravel. So here we go. Now we're done with the shoulder seams. Now, usually you would sew the front to the back on both sides, but what I like to do is I like to add the armbands first and then sew up the side seams. So I'm gonna take the armbands right here and I'm gonna fold those in half and iron them down. So we're gonna move back over to the ironing station. Right over here, ironing station. So what I'm doing is folding the armband pieces in half, wrong sides together. And I like to use, these are glass head pins and they're heat proof. So if you iron over them, they don't melt. So what I like to do is I pop a couple pins in so I can make sure it's nice and even. Okay, so next we're pinning the armband to the arms, the arm side. So what I'm doing is I'm pinning this whole this is the front all the way to the back, and I'm just doing a few pins to the outside of the garment on the arm area. And so we're gonna sew this down right here, the armbands to the armholes. at 3/8 inch. So now I have it pinned, and we're gonna, when you sew, we're gonna pull a little bit to match the seams to make sure it stretches out enough. All right, and I'll show you that in a second. So we're gonna move. Okay, so now we're gonna sew the armband to the armhole, and we're gonna do a little bit of stretching as we sew so that it will fit, because they always make the bands a little bit shorter than the actual armhole. So again, we're starting at 3/8. We're going to do the back stitch button. Okay, so now remember to stretch as you sew, because if you don't, it's going to be like the other side where it doesn't fit and you have to unpick it. So I'm going to have to go back and unpick the other side. But this is the second side. So this time I'm going to get it right. Okay, now I'm back to the ironing. I'm just gonna press out the armholes seam that we did the armband on, and then I'm gonna serge that down. So that's what we're gonna do next. So I tried the dress on, looks like it's gonna fit, and now I'm gonna serge the press out the seams and serge them. So neckband is about 30 inches, and well, the neck circumference is about 30 inches, and then the neck band is about 25, so that's a 5-inch difference. So it should work because it's a little bit smaller. So we're going to give it a shot. We're going to baste it first before we sew it down. But first we have to sew it into a circle. So for the neckband, you want to sew it right sides together, the two edges, and then fold it up and press it in half. So for the neckband, we have it pinned with the center seam in the back to the outside of the fabric. So, and all the seams edges matching. And then you're going to stretch as you sew. I like to start with the center seam in the back. And I'm going to do it at, I'm going to just do a basting stitch around that way to make sure it all matches. So I'm going to go all the way up to 6. Or whatever your highest can go to on your machine. So do this at 3/8 around. No back stitch because we're just basting and make sure it's gonna go. Pull the neckband as you sew it. next day, so I'm gonna cut off the part that is too long for the dress. So I have to cut off about 7 inches. I overdid it with the lengthening, so I'm cutting it down about 7 inches before I hem it up. Okay, I'm back. So this is the last step. I'm hemming it, and I'm gonna do what's called a picot edge stitch to hem the bottom. This is stitch 9 on my machine, and it is a blind. It's called a. Let's see what the name of it. What the name of the stitch is called. Okay, this is a blind stitch. And this one is for blind hems or shell edging on soft jerseys and fine fabrics. So this is the stitch that I'm using, and it looks like this. And it's number 9 on my machine. So check your manual and see if you have a stitch that's similar to this. So I've done it. The stitch width that I use is 7.6 and 1.3 length, and I've also mirrored it so that, because normally it goes the opposite. Normally it sits in this, going that direction, but I did a mirror effect on it. This is my mirror button, which makes it go the opposite direction. So pick a stitch that goes in the direction that you want it to jump over. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. So what I did was I folded under 3/8 inch for the hem, and I pressed it down, and I kept my glass head pins in to keep it all down flat. And so now I'm going to show you how I do the picot or shell edge stitch to hem this dress. Okay, so you line it up with, you line the edge of your fabric on the right side up with the edge of the blind hem foot right here, or your edge stitch foot, and then you go ahead and sew, and it creates a little ripple like this. If you can see this little ripple edge, a little scalloped edge right here. Now I'll show a close up when I'm done with the hem. Thank you so much for watching. Here's the completed result of the dress. Please make sure to check out T's channel, where she's going to be doing a tutorial on a knit maxi dress as well. So here we go. Participate in the Sew Maxi for Mother's Day challenge. So for the challenge, again, you have to sew a maxi dress by Mother's Day, which is May 12, 2019. And you can check out my previous video for more details. Thank you so much. Take care.